Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of 20 of the 2. Before we get into the episode, I kind of wanted to give you all a little intro so you guys understand what you should be expecting to hear from us over here at XL Tribesman Podcast for 2023. So, for us over here, we're going to focus always on plus size fashion, big and tall men. That's never going to change. But I want to expound that into how we date, how we show up in dating, some of our traumas that may come from, past issues regarding our size. And I definitely want to make a bigger impact in the community. And I feel like this will help to do so. So that is what you should expect to hear. Now, without further ado, let's get into the final podcast of the year. Woo! Hey, y'all. My name is Kirkland. I am the host of the XL Tribesman Podcast. Today, I have a special guest, one of two of the first big and tall models to walk New York Fashion Week. And I want him to introduce himself again. Sorry about that, Chad. But tell the people your name, where you from, and let's get into the story.
Again, Chad Johnson from Jamaica. I reside in New York. I
Boop,
reside
boop,
in New
boop.
Jersey as of right now. 22 years old. Still got a long way to go. But
Okay.
yeah. You know how it is.
So, what I want to know is, okay, so I want the people to understand your journey because your journey or your beginning story is very different than most other big and tall models that I hear. So I want you to tell the people how you got started in modeling because it's very different.
I mean, so like, whenever people ask me like, how do I start? And their initial question is, how did you start?
Right, because they always want to know how you got started.
And I'm like, the way you're gonna start, and the way
it's
I'm
not
gonna
the
start,
way I started. Yep. Because it do not. You kind of got like a little bit of the movie thing start. Like someone saw you. Yeah. Tell them how you got started. Tell them how you got started.
It's literally so like when people ask me, I'm like, I got scouted, and they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, someone reached out to me and told me that I should model, and they are an agent. And when I explain it to people, they're like, how do I get scouted? I'm like, it's not how. It's there's no how to how you
There's
get
no
scouted.
how.
It's just you get scouted. You got to be in the right place
at the right time. Yep.
And honestly, like my friend just reposted me. Literally, he reposted me on his story. That's how his agent actually saw me. He didn't see me on his own. But like one thing about me, when it comes to Instagram, I don't check my DMs. Like it's very rare that I go on my DMs or my request and I'm looking and I'm like, who's DMing me? So when I do check, I check the message thoroughly. So his agent was in my request and he messaged me about 3 times. So when I checked my request, I was like, who is this? But I see my friends, a lot of my friends follow the page. So I'm like, cool. So I accepted and we started talking. And he's like, yo, I think you should model. Are you represented by anyone? I really would be interested in signing you. And like, again, I'm a photographer, so I'm so used to being behind the camera. And at the time period, there's no like big and tall. Like I'm the only big and tall person I could name last year was Ashley Graham. It's the only person I could name, and she's a big and tall woman. That was the only person I could name that was famous, and that was a model. It was Ashley Graham, and I had the pleasure of speaking with her before the Tommy show before we walked. Because she walked in the show as well, so I got the pleasure to talk to her. She's a very nice person.
Oh snap! Oh, that's really dope. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So she's a very nice person, but like Ashley Graham, when you think of plus size women, you think of Ashley Graham because she is like the head. She's like the forefront of women that pushed plus size women into the industry to be accepted. She's probably the number one. But when you think of plus size men, there's no image for plus size men. There's no who's the it guy for plus size
I
men.
mean,
There is no
I could definitely understand that. How long ago from the time was that you got scouted?
last year January.
Okay, I mean, I could definitely understand that. There's some guys out there, but I think if you're not like, I think it's still working its way to mainstream because these guys, unfortunately, they're not on the cover of People or Time magazine. I
Yeah,
mean, there's a few guys out there that are really like moving the needle, like Kelvin and Zach Miko, um, Brandon and Cameron. But these guys, they're still working their way, to the mainstream level. So I
right.
could totally understand, obviously as another big and tall guy, these guys are not, where Ashley Graham is yet. But there's some guys out there that's like really, moving their way up, But I could definitely see that perspective.
Yeah, and the thing that I always get compared to when I first started was, oh, you could be like the male Ashley Graham, and I'm like, why is it me though? Why can't it be anybody else? Like, and
But why not
them,
you?
the thing is, I don't like to be. I'm a guy who likes to be like reclusive.
But why
So
not you though?
a lot of attention is just. I don't want the attention. I don't want the
Yeah,
attention.
see, you might not want it, but you were literally chosen. Like, not even a figure of speech. Like,
Yeah.
literally, you were chosen. So it was
The thing
literally
is,
meant for you.
it's like with that in a sense. I mean, I've embraced it now, but
Okay.
before it was like I don't want to be that. Like I don't want to be
Okay.
Ashley Graham. I don't want to be a face of anything. If I'm gonna do
Okay.
this, I'm gonna do this for my own thing, and y'all are not gonna like try to make me the face of anything. But as time is going on, like the year went on, and I started to realize like, okay, I'm getting booked a lot because like if you were gonna, and I've heard this from a lot of models when their first year, and a lot of them ask me like, I ask them about their first year, and they tell me like, oh yeah, my first year I worked like 2, 3 jobs, and then they'll ask me like your first year, and I'm like probably like 10, 15, and
Ooh,
they're like, yeah, your first year, you really like you had probably one of the greatest first years I've ever seen. That's what a lot of people say. A lot, especially my agents, they're like, bro, because if I look back at it, like my first year, I did probably out of all my jobs, I probably did 15 jobs, 10 to 15 jobs. About
that's a lot of
75%,
campaigns
yeah, 75% of them were campaigns. A few of them were like a little e-com, but majority of them were campaign jobs.
and campaigns.
Um, yeah, like a lot of them. And then I think the most notable thing, so I'm pretty sure you're familiar with models.com, the official like site for like all info on every model that's in the industry for the models that do
Actually,
the
no, I
profile.
did not know. The only official site I know is Model Mayhem, but I've never heard of model.com.
Yeah,
Oh,
models.com
well,
is like the website. It's
thank
like
you.
the website,
I like
yeah.
plugs.
Um so that website has been out for a very long time. Like a very long like
Okay.
since like Tyson Beckford,
Oh,
Naomi
okay, since
Campbell
those
kind
days.
of
Okay,
this.
cool.
Yeah. So there's never been a plus size male to be featured on like the new faces section because the new faces section is basically what introduces you to the new faces of the industry, the new people
Of
that
the
are in the
industry, got
industry.
it.
And I think that was the most notable thing for me. 20 years of the website being in existence, I was the
And
first
you were the
one.
first.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you keep
So
getting chosen, but you don't. It's for
it's the
you.
thing. It's the thing is when you don't want something, it always comes to you. So it's
It
like
feels like that sometimes. Yeah.
sometimes you don't want something, and sometimes it just comes to you. I think after that occurred, I was like, damn, all right, maybe I'll embrace this a little bit more
Just
because
a little bit.
even my friends are like, yo, like, bro, you're that guy. Like, we don't care what you say. They know how I am. I'm not a person like I stay in the house. If it's not work, I'm not leaving the house. So it's like they're like, you're that guy, bro. I was there's like you're not there's like obviously you're not walking the streets and people are like, oh my God, like but it was like, bro, eventually you'll get there.
Well, if you inside, no one can see you. So,
That's facts. That's facts. I keep it
so
that way. I keep it
okay.
that way. Listen, so like I'm me. I just like I'm a workaholic. I like to focus on work a lot. So I do a lot outside of modeling. So it's like even if I'm not modeling, I have other stuff I'm going on in my head that I'm working on, that I'm constantly trying to like, all right, figure like what's this, what's next, and that's one thing my agents love that I like to work because they know they send me a job. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, if it's paying me enough, let's take it. Like let's do it. I have no problem. So that's one thing I emphasize when I sign the new people. I always tell them if you're not gonna make me work, don't sign me because I want to work. I want to make sure that my revenue and my level of notoriety is always stepping up because
Okay.
I'm not really a social media person. I'm trying to be like I'm trying to build that platform to get where I need to
Does that
get.
work against or not against? But does that is there any sort of like is it possible for you to be a famous model without having a social media presence in this age? I would love
I
to know that.
I personally, from what I've seen, no, it works very much against who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always told myself if it's gonna get me where I need to get, I'm willing to make the sacrifice to get there. So
Okay. Fair enough.
if I have to make myself a presence, I will do that. It's worth it if I know that I'm gonna get where I want to get.
I mean, that's. I mean, getting where you want to get to. That's. I mean, if it's the vehicle that's gonna take you there. I
Exactly.
mean, I get that, but I mean, do it your way though.
Yeah, no, of course. I never change anything about me for anyone, but I let it be known like if it's gonna help me get to where like I think I need to get in a particular area, like obviously I have the the blueprint is there. It's just I refuse to do particular things at the point, and I'm really stubborn about certain things. So like I have to be like, all right, cool. Like you don't want to use social media like that, but it's gonna help you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just suck it up
What you mean? You
and
want to
let's
be
just do
dancing
it,
in videos like Diddy and shit like that?
bro. Like it's like nah, it's not like that. It's just like at first I was really like when I was younger, I was really into social media. I was really like down to be like on Instagram, on all that stuff. But it's like as I've gotten older, I've strayed
Mm-hmm.
away from like particular things. Like I've become more like enclosed and real like introverted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I've become so much more focused on the groundwork and like self development, I could say.
Okay.
So outside like all the outside noise, I've just tuned it out constantly. So when people ask me like now that you have this job, like because you're going from working part time at Whole Foods to walking New York Fashion Week. Like, how do you? Yeah, like
That's a
that's a really that's not a
yeah,
it's
yeah,
very umbrella.
yeah.
So
You said it like there was no steps in between. Like,
some people say to me like, how do you deal with like the attention now? Because the internet's always going to be the internet, especially
oh
when it
god,
comes to
the
big
internet is a cruel, weird,
cruel
amazing.
place.
Yeah, it's
It's
all
like
of those things at once.
it's just a weird
It's a
thing. Like
mix of
some people,
everything good and bad in the world.
oh man, you took the words out of my
I
mouth.
know.
But like, yeah, people ask me like, how do you deal with like that shift? And
That's a
I'm just like,
shift.
well, and the thing with me is like, even before I started doing this, I was doing photography, but
Mm-hmm.
like, I got like certain credits for my work when I was doing photography. So it's like I just took the mentality I had doing that and I just shifted it over. And like at times I do be like, yo, I wish I had a burner account so I could just say some stuff to some of you people. but like I'm sometimes I really want to be Kevin Durant and I just really want to get a burner account. And I'm just like, yo, let me get a separate phone, let me get a burner phone. So let me say what I say what I want to say. Cause I've seen like people like, yo, like you mentioned Zach, and I remember Zach made a video about me and Cameron. And I remember reading the comments and I'm like, how like some people was like, damn, they should get in the gym. And I'm like, who are you to tell me I need to get in the gym? Little do you know I work out. I used to play sports. What are you telling me I need to get in the gym? I was like, you don't even know me. Like I didn't comment back, but I was reading the comments and I'm like, little do y'all know, I could probably throw
Oh,
you across the
listen.
room.
I think one thing I used to feel on social media that I should never respond, but I'm going to tell you, I feel like over the years I've taken some pointers from Rihanna because I think she's the pettiest human on the planet, and I love how she responds to people, and I think I take that route. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna let nobody on the internet talk to me crazy. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not gonna lie, like the thing with me, so I have like these little, what my friends call it, Kanye rants, cause
Uh
like,
huh.
cause like the thing with my friend group, we've all been friends for about like 5 years now, five
Mm
6 years, and I've met all of them. Like all of them has been one-on-one interactions. So like my best friend, we met at a party, and it was just we became friends through us just not wanting to party.
hmm.
Like
So you were the people in the corner not wanting to do
yes,
shit.
exactly.
Got you.
My and then my other best friend, who I consider like a brother to me, me and his relationship started off very weirdly because like I didn't like him at first. Like he was like I was just out doing photography work and this dude was just talking to me and I was like, why are you talking
Why the
to
fuck
me?
you talking to me?
Yeah, like why are you talking to me? And he just invited me to like a party or whatever, and I was like, I don't do parties. He was like, well, I would love for you to like take some photos, all this other stuff. I'm like, uh-huh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All
Um,
right. Mm-hmm. Cool.
and then ironically, a week later, I went to a cookout and he was at the cookout, and I was like, oh my god, not this guy again.
So you didn't
But
go to his party and take his pictures?
I actually went to the party because I was like, he's kind of cool. So I went to the party, and he runs like a collective, like of artists. So I had,
Ah.
yeah. So I had,
So people are always seeing something in you.
I don't know what they see, but they always see something, and I don't
The
know.
light shines bright.
But yeah, we hit it off, became real close friends. You know, I was like, all right, cool. So through all my interactions with every friend, the main comparison I always get when it comes to somebody like famous or like infamous, it's always Kanye. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, one, you're never satisfied with anything you do. Two, you're a workaholic. And then you have like these spurts of rants where like you'll be calm for a long period of time and then
Mm-hmm.
somebody triggers you and then you just start. And it's true. Like I recently had one where I was just like, one thing about me on social media, I like to interact with the people who follow me. I like to, see how
Yep.
everyone's doing. I like to when people want to ask me questions, I'll allow them to ask me questions. So I put up the little sticker thing on Instagram where it's like, talk to me, like let's talk.
Oh shit. That shit get
And
real
so,
dangerous, man.
and someone said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "I'm doing great." I was like, I was like, no, I said, I'm doing okay, I guess. I wasn't having the best of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the person said, I seem very pessimistic. don't get me wrong. Like I'm cool with this person. I think this person's really cool. She's very cool. But it's like the comment. It was more or less the comment that triggered me. And I was like, so am I not allowed to have a bad week? Like I was like, am I not allowed to feel bad today? Am I not allowed to just not be in the mood? And
Mm-hmm.
then on top of that, someone else just kept asking me modeling questions. And I just started to get irritated. And I just went on my story and I was like, listen, this is the last time y'all are going to ask me modeling questions. Don't ask me about this nothing anymore because I've given out the resources so many times. I've told you guys how to do it, what to do, you know, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to repeat myself. And the one thing about me,
Oh,
I don't
well, welcome to the modeling business.
like
I've been in this business for 7 years and I've been answering the same question for 7 years.
I
It's
don't
never gonna get old. All I do, what I did was, and what you could do on your page is, have you seen the guide, the guide thing you can do on Instagram? It's like one
you
of the
can do a
features.
guide.
Yeah, you can make a guide on Instagram.
I might
And
just
if
have
the
to do
guide
that.
can be full of all your posts where you talk about modeling, or you can do it
The highlights.
in the highlights. And
Yeah.
every time someone asks, just send them the highlight link, because I promise you they will never stop asking. And the
And
more
it's
famous you get, the more you're gonna get the question.
the thing about it is sometimes it's not even the questions. Sometimes it's what people demand of me to do. And I'm like
Oh,
I've had people come to me and be like, yo, you think you can get your agent to sign me? And I'm like,
huh?
exactly. I've had people be like, yo, can you pull some like personal strings to get me signed? I just started. Like, who do you think I am? Like, bro. And it's like
It be
I
giving.
have
I don't
no
even know
look.
you, man.
I don't. A lot of these people I don't know, and it's like I have no problem telling people like, hey, go to this agency, submit to that agency. This is how you do it. That's how you do it. But when you start to tell me like, oh, can you pull some personal strings? It's like I don't know what you think this is, but this ain't what you think it is for real. So I'm gonna need you to dial it back because this is not what you think it is. And I'm like I don't
You got
gatekeep
very New
anything.
York in that statement.
Yeah, it's just like I don't listen. I don't gatekeep nothing from nobody because I don't. I think it's kind of corny to gatekeep certain stuff. But like when you gatekeep opportunity, I think it's corny. If you want to gatekeep like your favorite wing spot or something, I'm cool with that. That's fine. But
You
like But like gatekeeper opportunity, I'm not one of them guys. So it's like when people ask me like, "Yo, is your agency like?" One thing about my agency, my mother agency does castings every Friday. So every week I repost a thing that has the casting that tells you the time to join the Instagram live where they do castings, and people know how to do. So it's like they're like, "Oh, cool!" Like I see the people liking my story when I do that. But when you come to me and
mm-hmm.
ask me to pull personal strings for you, power that I don't have, that's when I'm like, you're tripping. You're tripping. I'm not doing that.
Okay. Um, I understand. I do understand that people on Instagram do have a sense of.
Entitlement.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, we're gonna go with that. I didn't want to use that word, but you're right. That's the word.
Entitlement.
I was gonna
Entitlement.
find another one, but you're right. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so now that we understand a little bit about you, how you got started, what I want to know what I want to know a little bit about, I'm gonna dive just a little bit into it. So, um, have you ever been to Fashion Week prior to walking Fashion Week?
One time, and it was one show. I didn't. I've personally never interacted with Fashion Week beyond like seeing certain outfits being posted like around
Okay.
Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But I one time, literally one time, I got asked. This is when I was doing well. I still do photography, but this is back when I was doing digital photography. I got asked by a friend who at the time was running his own like little brand or whatever. He had tickets to a particular fashion show, and he wanted me to go take some photos, stuff like that. I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So I did that, and honestly, that was when I had no sense of style.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out to Fashion Week in like sweatpants, a trench coat. It was just a horrible outfit. I would never speak about that outfit, but it was like it's like a high school. It was like such a high school outfit because I was in high school at the time.
Are there any
And
photos of this?
no, I'm glad there's no photos of this. I'm glad. I'm so glad because, like, I was like, damn, like, it was a day I didn't go to school just because I got it. I literally was like, this is my first time shooting fast food. I'm not going to school. And this is when I was very inexperienced in photography, so I was taking the opportunity to learn.
Right.
Um,
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
I I was so overwhelmed like during that fashion week because I'm seeing so many people that I seen on the internet, and then I see the way they're dressing, and I'm like, holy hell, what the hell am I wearing? I'm wearing a backpack with sweatpants. I'm at New York Fashion Week wearing a backpack with sweatpants. But this year was like I would say the real first time I've interacted with the scene like up front and
Mm-hmm.
personal. And yeah, like this is like the real official first time.
Okay. So is there any how many show did you only do Tommy or were there other shows?
Only, literally only Tommy because I literally just flown in from Seattle because I was in Seattle doing an Amazon. I was doing a
Oh, we wasn't ready.
yeah, I wasn't in my agent. So my agent she called me at like 12. She texted me first and she was like, "Hey, I'm pushing you for this Tommy show," and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm not really okay. So I get a call at like 10, 11 ish at night. She's like, hey, make sure you get some sleep. You have a casting for Tommy Hilfiger tomorrow. I'm like, oh, you actually pulled it off. All right, cool. So I get there in the morning, and I didn't even have like how models carry their casting comp cards or whatever. I don't carry those. I just go in. So I went in, and the girl at the front desk was like, she was like Chad Johnson. I was like, yeah, no comp card needed. I was like, cool. So I sat down, and
Oh.
yeah, when they called me up, mind you, I've never walked before, so I don't know what they're. I had a sense of like what a walk should look like, but I've never done it myself. So I was like, okay, and yeah. So the lady asked me to walk about. She asked me to walk. First time, it was kind of like real sluggish. I didn't really give her the energy she wanted. And my friends that walk a lot of shows, they always tell me if somebody lets you walk multiple times, they really want you in that show. And I walked about 3 times, practice like 3 times. She made me walk 3 times. The last one, she was like perfect. I just remember like it was like at least maybe 40 models in that little office. 40, 50 models were all lined up in numerical order. And
So it is like the movies. You are lined up.
mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Interesting.
And one by one, we went in and we walked in front of the designers and the design crew, and they made us walk. So when it was my turn, I just remember what she said to me. She said, "Walk like you're walking on the street of New York, or you're walking to catch your train." And when I walk in New York,
You walk
I want
swiftly?
I want everyone to get the hell out of my way. And usually, when people are walking slow in front of me, because my voice is so deep, I'll be like, "Excuse me," and usually they're startled or they jump out the way. So I'm walking like very like I'm rushing. I usually cut like a 9 minute walk to four because that's how fast I'm walking.
Go
And
ahead, New Yorker.
and I was walking, and they were like, "Oh, we love it." They were like, "Yeah, put him in some clothes." I was like, "Put me in some clothes." I was like, "Oh," I was like, "I'm getting this far, my first time. Okay, this is cool."
Okay.
Um, First outfit, the only fender bender that I had with that outfit was that the jeans did not fit me the way that I thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, cool. So they switched me to the outfit that I wore for the show. And
Got it.
I was like, oh, I like this. This is way more comfortable. But the thing that shocked me the most during the casting was when I came out after I finished walking to
Mm-hmm.
realize that out of those 40, 30 some models, 30 some 40 models, it was only like three of us left. It was me, it was Camrion, and that was it. And it was like one other person, and that was it.
Wow.
And I was like, where did everyone go?
Where's the 37 other people?
And I guess they got sent home. But I was like, that's very intimidating. Like that's very intimidating. So I was like, all right, I made it this far. First outfit, and I'm thinking like the first outfit didn't fit me. They're just gonna send me home. It's whatever. They changed me into a different outfit. Um, and which was I'm glad I got that outfit because it was way more comfortable. I could walk. I felt very much more comfortable. But it got to they called me back
Mm-hmm.
early in the morning the next day. Like they called me back really early. I get a text and I'm like, it says like I'm like just sleeping. I hear my phone go off. You have to be at Tommy Hilfiger by 2:30. Mind you, I get this text at 2 o'clock. It takes me about an hour, maybe 45, to get to the city. So I said to her, I said, text them back. I was like, tell them I'll be there at 3:30 because it's gonna take me a while to get there. She's like, all right, cool. I rush in the shower. I come back. Um, they just make me try on the same outfit again just to make sure everything's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I'm walking out, the guy who casted me, one of the people who casted me says, rehearsal, the show's tomorrow at I think at 7. Rehearsal start be there at 2. Rehearsal starts at 2. I
Okay.
was like wait, did I get the show? And he was like, yeah, you're in. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
I'm walking this show. And it's like I'm excited, but at the same time, my heart is sinking because
Jesus Christ.
I've never walked before, so my heart is gradually just sinking. But I'm excited. But every overthinking thought that I could possibly have,
It went through your head.
I'm having.
Was any of them falling?
Yes, that's the number one thought. I'm like, yo, if I
Yep.
fall,
Yep.
and the worst part about it, it rained that day. So it rained the day of the show, and the show is outside. So I'm like, oh,
Oh God.
and
Yeah.
and 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 that's when I
Yeah.
was like, yo, nah, if I really fall, it's game. So we do a little rehearsal. We're not wearing our clothes. We wear our own clothes. We just have like ponchos on. We're walking. I did that rehearsal about 7 times with 7 different groups just to make sure like
Yeah,
I
that you
got
had it down packed.
I had it down packed and I understood how to walk with the stage being like a little wet. So when it was showtime, I remember exactly how I walked the last time I practiced.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, I think the person in front of me was a rain judge, and then like I have a lot of these other people behind me. So I'm thinking like, okay, one, you've never walked before, so your legs are gonna be on fire when you walk this show.
Is it a
Be
long?
prepared
Was it
for
a
that.
long? Was it a long walk runway?
It was we basically with the way we walked in the formation of a TH
Makes
for
sense.
Tommy
Makes
Hilfiger.
perfect sense.
So
Okay.
it was like I would say like a 3 minute walk almost.
Okay. Okay.
So and we speed walking, so it's not that fast. But like I made sure that I took my time coming up the steps,
Mm-hmm.
and I just basically all the time that I spent taking my time to come up the steps, I covered it by walking fast across the stage,
Got
and
it.
then I would take my time walking down the steps.
Right.
But since no one could see my face because of the hat, they could see my eyes. They could see my face, couldn't see my eyes. So because they couldn't see my eyes, they didn't notice that I was nobody seeing that I was looking down at the steps when I was coming down. So I played it up.
Got you.
So I played it off. I was like, all right, cool, I can play this off. Nobody can't see my eyes. I'm playing this off. But the thing that excited me the most was when I'm walking down the stage and I'm looking at the people who are sitting at the show, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Kris Jenner, Kourtney Kardashian. I see King Combs, P Diddy's son.
Oh,
I'm
he was
seeing.
at that show. So you in the crowd. I mean, you're getting ready to walk, and you're seeing these super famous
Oh,
ass people.
it was. It was. It
What
was.
what you thinking? How you feeling?
So when I stepped down the steps, I actually like looked. Like I was looking. Obviously, again, they can't see my eyes, so they don't know I'm looking directly at them. So I take like a skim of the row.
Ha,
So it's
that's
like
funny.
take
Pun
like a little
intended.
skim. I see Shea Gilgis Alexander. He's a star NBA player. I see King Combs. I see Lotto. I see Kris Jenner. I see Kourtney Kardashian, and then I see her husband, and then I see like a couple other people, and I'm like, God damn, Def can't fuck this walk up. So I just keep walking. And I walk right by them, but I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. If you slip, you're done. So I'm walking, and then once I finish the walk, we get back to the room to like the little area where we started. I'm like, yes, ah, I did it.
Oh, you did it
But
right.
it's not over
You got more walks.
because now all the models have to walk again in one straight line. So I'm like, no. But thankfully, we're all like right behind each other. So I was like, oh, if I slip, I'm just holding on to somebody. For real. I'm gonna just hold on to somebody and just I'm gonna just
Okay.
push myself back up. But hopefully, thankfully, nobody slipped, nobody fell. It was good. It was a good experience. I think after the fact, oh yeah, John Legend was there. I forgot to mention John Legend. John Legend was there as well. So after the fact, I'm getting
Jeez.
dressed. I'm getting dressed. I'm like, damn. And I left my phone in the dressing room. So I come back to my phone, and my phone's just bzz, 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 and I'm like trying to catch up, but I can't catch up because my Instagram is crashing every time I open it because I'm getting all these DMs, and I'm like,
Oh
oh
wow.
hell. So I'm like, all right, cool.
So
And because
instantly, as soon as you done, so people already, the people came to the show knowing who you were already.
the only person that came to my show knowing who I was my model, was my agent and one of my friends and one of my other agent's husband. The rest, the rest of the people watched the live stream from the show. So because they live streamed the show, you knew who was who if you were friends with them. So
Oh,
everyone,
because I'm like, how did the word get out so fast? That's what I was thinking
it's
about.
like everyone who I knew that knew I was walking the show, because I didn't tell everyone. I told like this many people, but a lot of my friends were already watching the live stream, so they didn't know.
Oh, so
And
they was shocked.
yeah, so I had friends who didn't know I was walking, who saw me walking, was like, "What the hell?" And then I had friends who knew I was walking and was like, "Yeah, yeah," but
I get it.
I'm like, all right, cool. So, and the thing is, with New York Fashion Week photos, the, as soon as you're done with the show, the photographers are already uploaded stuff to Vogue, and it's already there. So as soon as you get there, it's already there. As soon as you leave the show, it's already there. And by the time, so I got invited to an after party. So by the
Oh,
time, yeah.
I don't
So
know about this after party.
by the time I get to the after party, I'm checking my phone. My picture's already on Vogue. The video of us, the whole show is already out. So I'm like, damn. So Tommy Hilfiger's at the after party. I walk up to him and I say, "Thank you for allowing me to walk in your show." As one of like the first two big and tall males ever. he's like, don't worry about it. You did a great job. I appreciate you being a part of the show. This guy has probably the whitest teeth I've ever seen in my entire life. Like when I took the picture of him, when I took the picture with him, and my friend hands me my phone and he's smiling, I am like, wow. First thing I know, I was like, wow, Tommy Hilfiger has some great teeth. Like he has some great teeth, but he's a really cool guy. He's like, it was really nice. It was a really cool interaction. I didn't know Kris Jenner was at the after party until I seen her walk out, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
cool. But I didn't really stay in long for the after party because I was so tired. I was at the rehearsal very early, and then the show, and then just I was up really late, and I was like, this is. I was like, my exhaustion bar is here. Time for me to bounce. I just
Got
charged
it.
my phone and I bounced. But like, as I'm going home, my phone is still going off. So like, I'm trying to answer DMs. I can't because my phone is over flooded. And then I have people reposting the photo, and I'm like, how are you guys getting the photo before me? I didn't even see the
Wow.
photo yet. I didn't see the photo yet. So I'm like, all right, cool. Um, and then Tommy
What a
Hilfiger,
feeling, man.
right? And then the Tommy Hilfiger official page is posting the photos, and I commented. I was like, "Oh, that's me in the third slot." They tagged me in the photo, and then I'm like, "All right, cool." But all these people, what I realized is that all these people from like different countries were reposting me,
Mm-hmm.
or reposting Camrion, and I'm like, I have people congratulating me in German,
You like,
and I'm like,
wow. Yeah,
dude, I'm like,
that's got to be like,
I was like, that's
wow.
crazy. I have people congratulating me in German. That's intense. And I was like, okay, this is because the one thing I did make a goal for myself at the end of last year. I said, I've done all these campaigns. The one thing I want to do this year, I want to do more editorial work. I want to be in more magazines. I want to be in New York Fashion Week. And I told myself,
Okay.
I was like, we're working for New York Fashion Week. I don't care about nothing else in 2022 but New York Fashion Week. And then for it to just happen, and I completely forgot about New York Fashion Week. I just let it go. Like in my head, I was so focused on so many different things. So when
Mm-hmm.
it occurred and it happened, and I was like, this is crazy because I literally said this like last year. I wanted to walk New York Fashion Week,
Look
and
at you.
I left it alone, and I didn't worry about it, and it came back to me, and it rewarded me for it. And I just remember when I the night of the show, I had like I would say like 2 point. I had like 2,900 followers, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And within the midst of like 10, 20 minutes, I was at 3,100 probably. And it was just like a lot of people just kept, I was like, yo, what is going on? And the comments were just coming in. And I had people calling me.
Oh, wow.
And my agent was like, yo, my agent that went, he was like, proud of you. He was like, your first walk, you did great. And to hear him say that from him signing me, being the first person to sign me, I was like, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Well, what I'm very proud about is that it seems like even though you'd never wanted it, it seems like you said I'm gonna take it for everything I can. Like I'm gonna get everything out of this experience that I can because that's I'm telling you, like I hope you know, like this is your story is very unique. Most people work their whole career to walk New York Fashion Week.
Right.
You did it on the first go.
That is true. That is true.
um. So okay, so you've walked New York Fashion Week. So how has if it has or hasn't, how has your social life changed since New York Fashion Week? Because that was what earlier this month, right?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Um. I wouldn't say my social life has changed. I would say like I've a lot more people like interacted with me on social media in a sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've had like a lot of people who come to me and say like, you're doing something that I wish I could have seen growing up. And
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I've had people come to me and say like, continue to break these doors down because they're never they were not broken until I seen you show up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people come to me and say like last year and say like, yo, it's crazy to see a guy my size as one of the faces of like a Levi campaign. But then like as I've gradually progressed in my career, the more I keep hearing like, I hope you know that whether you're following shows it or not, I hope you know that you are destroying a lot of doors that have been standing in the big and tall way for a very long time. And and at first, like when I'm hearing it, it's like I'm trying to comprehend what people are saying to me. But as
Mm-hmm.
time is going on, I've appreciated the comments because it's like I didn't come in to do modeling for my own selfish reasons. And whenever I pick up a career or some type of work, I always want to do my best ability, like my best, to make sure I'm doing my job at the highest level possible.
Okay.
So when people come to me and they're saying like, "I love that you're breaking down these barriers and you're not afraid to like continue to be yourself while doing it," it's like we like that. Like we like the authenticity because a lot of times when I get jobs and I'm on set, what people don't understand is the people that are booking you, they check your Instagram, they check your socials a lot. They're watching you. They're watching to see what type of person you are. So like when I've gone on set to like Levi's and stuff, I've heard like a lot of the casting directors and the creative directors say like, I really love that you're multifaceted in the sense where you're not only just doing modeling, like you're a photographer, you indulge in all these other things, and you're not conforming yourself for social media.
Oh, interesting.
You're just doing, what you want to do.
Look at that. You're getting paid to be
Well,
your motherfucking self.
yeah. So that has helped a lot in a sense to just me as a person just learn like, okay, what I'm doing is the right thing. Because there's
Mm-hmm.
plenty of times where I've considered like modeling is cool, but I'm not going to do it for very long. I don't want to do it for very long. But as like last year progressed and the year ended, I was like, nah, I think I might want to do this for like, until like I think it's time to hang it up.
Right.
And
Which is no time soon. Just tell them.
it's no time
We got
soon.
a long way to go.
But I tell
Until
myself,
one of us show up on People magazines as the sexiest man in America, we got a long way to fucking
I,
go.
I think I think it's like right now I'm aiming to just like I said I didn't want to be Ashley Graham, but after speaking to Ashley Graham, like, cause speaking to her, like when I spoke to her, I asked her, I was like, how does it feel to like, you know that you're like the number one plus size woman in the world, and you've been at that number one spot for a very long time. And yes, there's people who are like a close second and a close third, but you're number one. And she's like, it's a lot of work. Like it's a lot of things that come with it. And I always said that I was like, well, my agents always tell me that you're like the plus size woman of all plus size women, and they always tell me that I could be you. So I'm gonna try my best to be the male version of you, but a little bit different. But I'm still gonna try to be the Ashley Young of men, and like that's what at this point that's what I want for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm still going to be Chad. I'm gonna be me. Like I'm still gonna say what I want to say. I'm still gonna like just do
What you
me.
want to
But
do.
yeah, but that's definitely what I want to do. I want to be as authentic as possible while also relating to the guys that are like coming up and they're looking at me. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, we got a big dude who we can finally be like, okay, I can confidently go in the store and like I'm gonna buy what he wore in that
Because
campaign.
you actually sell it.
Exactly. Like
Oh,
I remember going to Levi's to get a pair of sweatpants, and I saw a pair of black sweatpants, and ironically, the sweatpants that I wanted was being modeled by me. So when I clicked on the link, I was like, "Oh, it's me! Hey, like I know what size I wore in this picture. Let me just order it." Like,
I want if there are any retailers, if there are any casting directors, if there are any model scouts listening to this podcast, what I want them to understand is it's already a struggle to determine what your size is when you're shopping online, because primarily for big and tall men, most of our retailers are online. It just helps me click the buy button that much faster if the person in the photo looks like me, so I know the shit fits. And then I can
yeah,
just hit buy, especially when the store has like models wearing this side. Great, thank you, buy. And
that
then I
was
can hit.
literally it was literally that because I was like, "Oh shit, that's me! I know what size I wore in that. Cool." Because I remember exactly what size I wore when we were doing the picture. I was like, "All right, cool. Let me just buy this and go ahead."
Exactly. So,
It was a pleasure to feel it was that easy, and I was like, "Yeah, this is cool."
okay, so now we're gonna play a little podcast game I like to call Icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I might know the answer to this one, but I'll ask anyway. It might be a different answer. When was the last time you felt lit up? Like you were at your extreme peak of joy?
Well, besides the Tommy show,
See,
um,
I figured that one. I was like, but maybe there's
but
another one that's like
besides the
not as
Tommy show,
popular.
um, I'd probably say I would probably say the day that I got featured on models.com, like the day I got featured as the first plus size male and all in like the new faces category ever. I think that day meant a lot to me
Mm-hmm.
because it came out of left field, really. I just got an
Oh, did
email.
you know you were being featured or no?
I just got an email saying that I was going to be on models.com. I wasn't told the circumstances or the importance.
Ah, got it.
So when the importance came along, I was like, what the hell? And I think that's what made me really happy because it was like, okay, we're getting milestones here. I love this. Like, yeah.
Okay. All right. I feel you on that. All right, that's good to know. So, what I want to know in closing is, you've had a dynamic career. I mean, it's relatively new, but you've done a lot.
Right.
Like we've talked about earlier, you've had more, campaigns in your first year than most people have, in their first, even second year.
Right.
And what I'd like to know is, tell me a little bit about like what do you envision, like what's next on your list of things to like accomplish? Because it's very clear that you're goal driven and you're looking to break doors and move barriers, if not just break them altogether. So give me a little bit, like what's one you're looking to like tackle next?
Well, I think I would like to be the first big and tall for Paris Fashion Week.
Woo!
I think I really believe like that's I've never seen a big and tall in Paris Fashion Week. I would like to be like one of
Mm-mm,
the
me
big and
either.
tall for one of those high end brands like Gucci or Louis Vuitton or like a Dior. I feel like Tommy Hilfiger has set like a line that a lot of people are gonna have to cross now. And if they don't
They're
want to
gonna have
cross
to
that
meet it,
line,
match it.
exactly. If they don't want to cross that line, they don't have to cross the line. But I just see myself. I just like I want to continue to be the door breaker,
I feel you.
and I do like I do see myself be. I want to be in more editorials. I think we need more guys like me on like ID
On the
magazine.
cover.
Yeah, on the cover like a Fader magazine, like uh, uh a Vogue magazine. I feel like
Oh,
a lot of those things. That's like a lot of goals that I'm aiming for. I have a lot of stuff, but the most important ones, I do want to be in more runway shows. Like I think the Tommy Show was a good breaker for me in terms of expectation and in terms of like high level because
mm-hmm.
that's one of his first New York Fashion Week shows in years, and arguably the biggest show in New York Fashion Week. So I feel like that for me was a good opener. Now I want to do Milan Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week. I want to get out there and I want to take this out of the United States. I know a big and tall model that just walked in London Fashion Week. So I think we need to go to Milan and Paris Fashion Week and take over there as well. I think that we need to be in more covers of like the Vogues and the Times and stuff like that. So
And the
that's really,
GQs.
yeah, that's really my aim right now. My agents know what I want. I express it to them all the time, and they're trying their best to get me there. As of right now, what I really just need to do to help myself get there, obviously elevate my social profile to a particular level where not only my career can be noticed, but I can garner that attention through social media.
You got it.
Um, it's just I have a lot of stepping stones that I need to hit, and I know who I would want to model for. I know who I want to work for. I'm about to go into my third year, so
Mm-hmm.
within the third year, I just want to take 10 steps forward, not 10 steps back.
I feel you.
So when New York Fashion Week comes next year, I would like to walk more than one show, maybe five or
Multiple
six,
shows.
multiple
Yep.
shows, 5 or 6. I want to be able to do that because that's when it's like, damn, we set it off last year, we pushing it again. That's how I want
And
it.
now
That's
we
how I want
breaking
it to
even
be.
more doors because now we in the castle. Now just
Is
bust every door in the castle.
yeah,
I feel you on that.
that's really how I want it to be, and I want people to realize that like what I've expressed a lot since I've started. I've expressed individuality, like in a sense of because you're big and tall, don't matter if you're a man or a woman, you shouldn't feel excluded from a crowd, especially in the fashion industry, because I know plenty of big and tall men that have been able to wear what they want to wear how they want to wear, and be themselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a guy who loves vintage clothing. I'm into vintage clothing. I'm not into like the high end fashion or fast fashion. I'm into a lot of old stuff. But I've taken that my love for vintage fashion and I've ran with it, and as a big and tall person, made it who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of us are so afraid to take a risk of being like, oh yeah, I'm big and tall, I'm gonna wear this. And it's like I understand that, but at the same time, you just gotta say fuck it at the end of the day and just be yourself. Cause no one can really judge you if you don't let them judge you. Only person you should be worried about is yourself in terms of how you look, how you feel, how comfortable you are. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Last year was probably when I started to feel the most comfortable in my own skin. I always thought to myself, "Oh, I should be skinnier. Oh, I should like lose some. I should lose more weight." And I was already working out, but it's like I should lose more weight. I should be skinnier. Maybe I should get abs. Like I don't think I look good enough. But
Mm-hmm.
once I started to see that people were embracing me on how I looked, I'm like, okay,
It helps you embrace yourself.
there's nothing wrong with me. So
Not a damn thing.
I think that's where we need to get where it's like you can be big and tall, you can still be fit and active and be big and tall. You can still enjoy the way you want to dress, be big and tall. Don't let people tell you like, oh, you're plus size, you can't wear this, you can't wear that, you're not gonna look right. If you feel comfortable wearing it, wear it. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, it's you're the one putting on the clothes. They're not buying your clothes for you. You're buying your clothes. So wear what you want to wear. Let these people say what they want to say. If you feel like you want to be healthier and be a plus size, that's fine. But do what you want to do and just say, fuck the outside noise. I'm gonna just be me.
That's
And
absolutely
and
correct.
that's really the example that I'm trying to set
Mm-hmm.
with just being like accepting yourself and also having the confidence to try and step in the fashion world or in the modeling industry and be okay with the way that you look. That's really where I'm aiming for. So with all the goals that I have, I want to come along where I'm giving people the fire. I'm lighting the flame and saying, "Yo, y'all want to model? Let's go!" Like I want a kid my age who's like who's my age when I was younger, 10, 11, 12, seeing me
Mm-hmm.
on like a cover and like, oh, that's crazy. He looks just like me. If he's on the cover of a magazine, I can be on the cover of a
I can be on
magazine.
the cover of a magazine. Yep.
That's where I want to get at. That's the point where I want to get to. So I'm just doing like a lot of manifesting and a lot of working and just staying who I am, and that's where I'm getting from there.
Okay. Well, I think you're on the heading in the right direction. You seem like you have a great attitude towards understanding what it is that we still need to accomplish, but at the same time doing it on your own terms, which
Right.
is always important because if you do it anybody else's other way, you're gonna regret it and it ain't gonna come out the way you want it to anyway.
Exactly.
So tell the people where they can find you because I need them to know about you because that's part of getting you to where you need to go, right? Building your social presence.
Um,
So tell the people where they can follow you.
it's a guy with freckles on Instagram. All together,
Oh, one word.
all one word. A guy with freckles on TikTok, all one word. That's that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
So
All
that's where
right.
you
Well,
can
I need
find
y'all
me.
to follow him because we need him to be big so he can go inside the castle and tear down the rest of the doors so we could come on in and let them know we belong to be here.
Exactly.
Thank you all again for listening to another episode of the XL Tribesman podcast. My name is Kirkland, my guest here today, Chad, and you all, peace the fuck out.